'89 The Wood presents high school basketball.
All right, you know what you got to do. Let's play ball. The Wood on three. 1, 2, 3. The Wood.
And then there were two. Welcome to Terry Hollander Court on the campus of St. Charles West High School for the championship game of the 28th annual St. Charles West Warrior Basketball Classic between the Marquette Mustangs and the Fort Zumwalt South Bulldogs. My name is Joey Messenbrake. I'm alongside my partner Neil Fisher. And Neil, let's take a look at how these teams got here.
Yeah, Joey. Well, on Monday night, Marquette beat Francis Howell in a bloodbath by 40 points, 71-31 to advance to the semifinals Wednesday night against St. Dominic, who just took home the third-place trophy in the St. Charles West Warrior Basketball Classic. They beat St. Dominic by 17 points. Let's head over to how Fort Zumwalt South got here. Fort Zumwalt South beat Luther North Tuesday night by 26 points, 63-37. And on Wednesday night in the semifinals, beat Fort Zumwalt West by 16 points, 53-37. In all the games for both of these teams tonight, they've been high-scoring affairs, so look for the ball to be in the basket a lot tonight.
Yeah, they've been high-scoring affairs, and there's been a couple of key players that have really shown out throughout this tournament. We'll take a look at three matchups that we will want to keep our eye on as this game develops. First, J.J. Schwebker of Fort Zumwalt South and Jason Montgomery of Marquette. They are both they can both hit the three. Schwebker more of the catch-and-shoot kind of guy, but if he doesn't elect to do that, he can also put it on the floor and move around if he's guarded tightly. Montgomery, he's a little bit more methodical, but you do not want to leave him alone, Neil.
Yeah, both of these guys are going to be pulling up from around the arc today in tonight's contest. They're going to have a lot of points on the board for these two teams.
The second matchup to keep our eye on, Cameron Miller of Fort Zumwalt South against Elias Harris for Marquette. Both of these guys are quick, short guards, and they both work very hard on defense, and they're going to test each other right at the top of the points. The advantage, though, Neil, it looks like it's going to go to Miller. He's just a bit more aggressive than Harris.
Both very athletic guards. Watch them to be quick to the paint tonight. Try to get something rolling inside, maybe kick it outside to either Montgomery or Schwebker to get that three.
And then the final matchup, it's going to be Connor Becca-Brady of Fort Zumwalt South. He basically going up against anybody in the middle for Marquette. And Becca-Brady, he's a 6'5 sophomore, and he's one of the best young players in the area. Look for him to be the one to secure the rebounds for Fort Zumwalt West. He's a great ball handler.
Yeah, for Marquette, that's going to be one of their key points is keeping that paint dry in this game. They're going to have to stop Becca-Brady in the paint when he gets the ball, and they're going to have to look towards somebody to get that going for them tonight because he hasn't been stopped all tournament.
And we will take a look at the starting lineups. We are moments away from tip-off. First for the Fort Zumwalt South Bulldogs. 3-0 coming into this one. They will start Cameron Miller, the senior guard, at 5'6". Jake Patton, the senior guard, at 6'1". J.J. Schwebker, standing 6'5", the junior forward. Grant Stevens, the 6'3" senior forward. And Connor Becca-Brady, the 6'5" sophomore forward. For the Marquette Mustangs, Elias Harris, the sophomore guard. Jake Hansen, the senior guard. Jason Montgomery, the senior forward. Devon Barshow, the junior forward. And Jalen White, the senior guard. Both teams meet in the middle. Jumping for Marquette, it will be Jason Montgomery, Connor Becca-Brady to jump for South. And the tip, not necessarily won by either team. They both mistimed their jump. We'll get a re-tip. Referee's ready, and this time the tip is won by the Bulldogs, and they will start with possession first. The three from Patton off the rim, and the Mustangs the other way. It's Montgomery. He drives on the near wing, pulls up, and it's good.
That's going to be what Marquette's offense is focused on today is Jason Montgomery driving, pulling up, and shooting and getting those quick points.
Cameron Miller crosses the timeline, and he gets out to Stevens. Stevens uses the screen from Schwebker, who has the ball now. Schwebker hands it off to Becca Brady at the top. Back to Schwebker. Uses his screen from Becca Brady, who pulls off and gets the ball. Down in the post, drives, and has it blocked away. Marquette the other way. It's Elias Harris. He gets it inside, kicks it back out to Montgomery. He's met with a double team, a little bit of contact, and the shot falls a bit short.
Montgomery looks for a foul call right there from the referees, but they won't give it to him.
Cameron Miller kicks it back out to Stevens. He gets the screen from Schwebker. He hands it up to Becca Brady. Becca Brady gives a screen to Patton, but doesn't use it, and the ball's turned over. The other way come the Mustangs. It's Jason Montgomery on the far wing. He hands it back over to Montgomery. Inside. Over to Harris. Back to Montgomery. He pulls for three. Left it a little short. Rebound by J.J. Schwebker. Miller the other way. Stevens, the baseline jumper is good.
The first three possessions for Marquette have been all surrounding Jason Montgomery. We'll see if that continues and see how the Bulldogs react to this offense of Marquette.
It's Jeremiah Jennings. He goes over to Montgomery. Inside now to Mers. Now driving back out to Jennings. Jennings to Montgomery. He pulls for three. Great defense there by Miller. The rebound comes to Harris. He misses his shot, but the rebound gathered by Jalen White. He pulls for three. In and out, and another board. It's Josh Mers. He kicks it out to Jennings, and an offensive foul. Great anticipation there by Connor Becca Brady.
Becca Brady doing a great job down low. Fort Zumwalt South is going to have to do a better job getting rebounds, rather, because Marquette is controlling the offensive boards right now.
Cameron Miller gets the inbound pass, and I'll just take it methodically up the court. Passes to Stevens, then to Becca Brady up top, back over to Miller. He's guarded tightly, hands over to J.J. Schwebker. He has a screen, decides not to use it, goes to Stevens. Pulls from just inside the arc, misses, but Becca Brady is there for the rebound, and they say it goes off of Josh Mers. It will stay with South. Patton to inbound. He gets it into J.J. Schwebker at the top from three. Leaves it a little bit short. Rebound to Jason Montgomery. He'll bring it up the far side. He's met by Miller. Hands it over to Harris. Back to Montgomery. Montgomery and Harris play a little bit of catch. It's Harris. Back to Montgomery on the far side. Across to Jennings. Montgomery on the W of the Warriors. Back to Jennings. Back to Montgomery up top. Over to Harris. He pulls for three. A little bit short there with the rebound was Mers, but he left the shot short as well. Gets fouled, and he'll go to the line.
Marquette right now is doing a phenomenal job down in the paint while they're on offense. They're getting those offensive boards that are going to lead to more points and accumulate as the game goes on tonight.
Josh Mers, the forward/center. He'll play either position. 6'5" junior. Up, and the first free throw rattles in and out. On the year as a team for the Marquette Mustangs, 3 games into the year, Neil, they shoot about 65.8% in their first three.
Yeah, key tonight, a key in high school basketball games around the country is free throw shooting. When teams go to the line, most teams really harp on free throws, and that's going to be a key here tonight. As we saw in the previous game, there were a lot of foul calls, and it came down to the wire, and it ended up being a free throw contest. Who shot the better free throws?
Yeah.
Dominic.
Yeah, free throws comes down to maybe staying late in the gym a little bit after practicing those free throws. Those can be difference makers in the game. The teams will break the huddles on the timeout, and Josh Mers will have one more free throw. He missed his first. We're still tied at 2-2, just under 5 minutes to go in quarter number 1. From St. Charles West High School at Terry Hollander Court.
The student section of Fort Zumwalt South doing a great job down there.
They're letting Mers hear it, but Mers swishes it right in their face and gives the Mustangs the 1-point lead, 3-2. Inbounding will be Stevens. He gets it to Miller. Miller slowly crosses the timeline. Thought about using the screen from Stevens. Instead, gets the one from Schwebker. He hands it over to Patton. Patton drives baseline, kicks it out. Pass stolen away by Montgomery, leading the break. Montgomery to the rim. And he's fouled by Becca Brady before he could lay it up and in. He'll go to the line. You
really saw the athleticism of Montgomery right there going all the way down the court. It took him about 6 strides to get all the way from free throw line to the bucket. And here we go again. The free throw line is going to be the most important place for Marquette all night long to get those baskets.
Up and good. The first one for the 6'4" senior forward, Jason Montgomery. 4-2 the lead for Marquette. And that's the first time, Neil, we've seen him drive the lane. We've seen him kind of stay outside the arc. We mentioned he is a three-point shooter. Inbound goes to Cameron Miller. A little bit of a press coming from the Mustangs. Schwebker now has it. He'll cross the timeline using the screen from Becca Brady. Another screen, and then he hands it over to Becca Brady up top. Wide open. He stops and just waits. Can't get it to anybody. Now finds Miller. He drives through, and Miller's going to be hooked on the play by Elias Harris. He'll pick up a foul. The Bulldog student section is letting Harris hear it. Inbounding is Patton. He gets it in to Stevens. Ball deflected away by Devon Barshow.
We talk about Becca Brady getting inside the paint earlier. Marquette defense is doing a great job right now keeping them outside of that area as Schwebker hits it.
Schwebker with the three. Back the other way come the Mustangs. It's Jenkins. Now to White. White, he's guarded by Becca Brady. Spins around Becca Brady. Up and off the glass for 2. Cameron Miller. His team down by 3, 7-4. The Mustangs lead it. Miller gets the screen from Schwebker. He gets it around to Stevens, who uses the screen from Schwebker as well. And the pass to Schwebker, jumped by Jalen White. He goes coast to coast, and great job by Becca Brady inside. He denies the initial shot, but Jason Montgomery there to clean up the garbage.
Jalen White rushed it a little bit on that lay-in, and luckily for the Mustangs, Montgomery was there to put it back in.
We've seen Becca Brady be aggressive down low, trying to distract shots, as from the corner, 4-3, it's Jake Patton.
Patton's been sitting on the outside of the key all night long. You saw him take the first shot of the game. He missed it. But if they get him going from the arc, beyond the arc, they're going to be in good shape.
Elias Harris. He's guarded by Miller. Gets it inside to Montgomery. Kicks it back out to White for 3. Off the front of the rim. Rebound goes to Cameron Miller. Stretch pass. Outlet pass to Jake Patton. He lays it up and in off the glass.
5 straight points for Fort Zumwalt South. And they're all from, that's number 2, Jake Patton.
Elias Harris, he gets the screen and uses it. On the near wing. Again, the screen from Montgomery. Right at the free throw line, he'll kick it out to Devon Barshow for 3. Leaves it a little bit short. Rebound again goes to Miller. Got a 3-on-2 break. He'll look to go to Schwebker. And Schwebker takes too many steps. It'll be a travel. And Marquette will go the other way.
Substitutions for Zumwalt South. Number 24, Carter Nowak, comes into the game. And at number 20, Judah Nunn.
9-9, 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go in quarter number 1. Elias Harris will bring it up the court for Marquette. He is met by Judah Nunn for the Bulldogs. Gets the screen and uses it. Harris for 3, and nothing but net.
Great pick right there to set up the opportunity for Harris to knock down the 3.
Judah Nunn gets the screen, and he hands it over to Patton. Patton into Schwebker. Schwebker pulls from the baseline off the backside of the rim. Rebound by Marquette. They push it the other way. Jenkins drives in. A little one-handed floater. Gets his own rebound, missing. Another floater, and this time it's good.
I think that Marquette is doing offensively tonight that the Bulldogs are not, as they're staying around the glass after their shots. Fort Zumwalt South is kind of backing off after they shoot.
Schwebker for 3. He hits it.
That's one person that the Mustangs do not want to get rolling, as Schwepker is the team leader in threes this season.
14-12. It is for three for the Mustangs. It's Ethan Jenkins bouncing up over the rim and over the backboard. It will be Bulldogs basketball. 14-12. Just over a minute to go in quarter number one.
We talked about it before the game. This one's going to be a good one. They played last year, but if you look at the court this year as opposed to last year, there's been a lot of changes on both sides.
You mentioned that they played last year. Driving in off the wing was Jake Patton. He misses. Rebound goes to Marquette, and then Patton, great hustle play. He intercepts the pass, but the referee says he stepped on the maroon baseline. It will stay with the Mustangs. And Neil, going back to what you said, these teams did meet back at St. Charles West last year, December 8th, so right around this time. And that game, Fort Zumwalt West beat Marquette by 10, but you mentioned both teams have changed a lot, so don't expect that result to mean a whole lot.
Foul called underneath on number 24, Carter Nowak for Fort Zumwalt South. Down there working against Jason Montgomery. A big size differential between the two.
Inbound pass goes to Jake Hansen. Now into the corner to Montgomery for three. Leaves it a little short. Hansen there for the rebound. And it's deflected out of bounds by a Bulldog. It will stay at the Marquette end of the court. Inbound goes to Hansen. He's in the corner. Guarded tightly by Nunn. Hansen drives and a little bit of contact, able to roll it in for two.
Coach Friedel wanted a walk right there from Hansen. Didn't get it by the referees. A good bucket for Marquette, though.
Judah Nunn gets the screen, and stolen away is his pass. And Marquette can hold it for the final shot if they want to. It's Montgomery on the far side. He hands it back to Hansen. Met out there by Nunn. Tight defense on Hansen. Handing over to Jennings. Gets a screen from Montgomery. Jennings with 1 second off the glass. The full court heave is nowhere close. And that is how quarter number one will come to an end in this championship game. The Marquette Mustangs lead the Fort Zumwalt South Bulldogs 16-12. We'll take a short break and be back with quarter number two. You're listening to high school basketball on 89.1 The Wood. Welcome back to Terry Hollander Court on the campus of St. Charles West High School for the championship game of the 28th annual St. Charles West Warrior Basketball Classic between the Marquette Mustangs and the Fort Zumwalt South Bulldogs, where Marquette leads 16-12. Marquette starts the second quarter with the ball. It's Jeremiah Jennings. He hands it back out to Ethan Jenkins. Jennings gets it back on the wing. Gets the screen from Jalen White. Doesn't use it. Gets the ball swung over to Devon Barshow. White from the top of the key. He hits it for three.
Marquette's ball movement right now is getting Fort Zumwalt South in all kinds of flusters as they're moving the ball, running around the court, making shots happen for them.
Judah Nunn for the Bulldogs. Gets it into Schwepker, then kicks it back out for Nowak. Off the back iron, rebound goes to Becca Brady. And another possession for the Bulldogs. Shot comes from Patton, this time no good. On the floor is Carter Nowak. And it's going to be a tie-up. Possession arrow points in favor of the Bulldogs. Jake Patton into Schwepker, and he hits it.
Schwepker's got that sweet stroke from the mid-range three-point area as he knocks down his second of the game.
Jake Hansen, the senior guard, he hands it off for Jeremiah Jennings. He gives it to Devon Barshow. He pulls from three, and he hits it. From about the O in the Warriors on the court, he hits the three.
Barshow from way downtown, showing his range and capability. Marquette's offense looks great in this game tonight.
Judah Nunn uses the screen for Becca Brady, and he gets all the way to the rim. Just a great screen by Becca Brady up top.
Watch that speed of Nunn on the court tonight. He's doing a great job of getting around the Marquette defense and making something happen.
Barshow to White, now inside to Hansen, and he gets fouled on the baseline. That will go on Cameron Miller, his first of the game, the fourth team foul for the Bulldogs.
We haven't seen a lot of fouls here tonight. Marquette has 2, and Fort Zumwalt South leading with 4, but not as many as we saw in the previous game for the third-place game between St. Dominic and Fort Zumwalt West.
Jennings to Harris. He gets it over to White for 3. Rebounded by Jake Patton for the Bulldogs. Patton tries to go coast to coast, and up and under for the lay-in.
What a lay-in from Patton right now. He's being the offensive producer for this Fort Zumwalt South Bulldog offense.
Elias Harris. He gets the screen and uses it. Pulls for 3. With the hand in the face, he hits it.
If the Bulldogs want to stop Marquette right now, they have to stop them beyond the arc because Marquette hasn't done anything in the paint in a while tonight. They're going straight for that three-pointer.
Nowak uses the screen from Schwepker. Becca Brady hands to Patton for 3, and he hits it. Patton showing his range a little bit, and it's 25-21 Mustangs.
Talked about Barshaw going from downtown. Patton right there showing his range, going way downtown.
Barshaw a couple of dribble moves, falling down his Patton, but it doesn't matter. Jeremiah Jennings is off on his 3. Rebound goes to the Bulldogs, and it's Cameron Miller the other way. He'll get a screen from Becca Brady, and it is an offensive foul on Becca Brady. He moved his feet on that screen.
Illegal screen right there for Fort Zumwalt South. That's going to hurt them. Giving the ball back to Marquette. It looked like they were going to swing that tide around and really get the score going the other way, but Marquette gets the ball back. They lead by 4, 25-21 with just above 5 minutes remaining in the half.
Connor Becca Brady threw the water cup with force into the trash can. He knew he made a mistake there, and he has to sit with 2 fouls and with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. It's Elias Harris. He hands over to Jason Montgomery, tries to create some space. Instead, hands off to Barshaw. His shot gets blocked and left a little short. Rebound goes to Schwepker. Up the court is Cameron Miller. Makes one move, tries to get it out to Patton, but it's deflected away off of the hands of Jake Hansen. It'll stay with the Bulldogs.
Patton producing on both offense and defense tonight, getting that block off of Barshaw.
Inbound to Schwepker for 3. Leaves it a little bit short. And a foul goes on the floor. It looks like it's going to be Hansen. He's gonna get the push. I believe he gets the push on Jake Patton. So it'll be Patton to inbound from the baseline. Gets it in to Katumbwa. His shot misses. There to clean it up is J.J. Schwepker.
Joey, right when I talk about there's not many fouls tonight, it just changes in an instant. Always happens like that. Now Mustangs have 3 fouls, but Fort Zumwalt South has 5. It seems like there's been a lot in the last minute and a half.
Not some clean basketball that we've seen, as down the lane goes Jalen White, tries to lay it up and in off the glass, rebounded by the Bulldogs. The other way comes Cameron Miller. He gets fouled, trying to go coast to coast. And that one going on Jake Hansen. He picks up foul number 2. And that will force
Ethan Jenkins is going to come into the game for Marquette.
That foul that Jake Hansen committed forced Eric Schwain's hand to bring in Ethan Jenkins, as you said, Neil. Jake Patton, he gets it in to Nowak. Gets the screen from Katumbwa. Katumbwa gets it. Nice little Euro step down the lane and lays it in off the glass.
Head coach Schwain of Marquette has to call a timeout there. 25-25 with just under 4 minutes remaining in the half. You got to be worried if you're Coach Schwain right now, because Marquette was rolling and looked to handle Fort Zumwalt South until they turned the tide, and now it's all tied up. Yeah,
the way that Marquette was moving the ball, it looked like their lead, they were at least going to carry that into half. And this comeback, Becca Brady's been sitting on the bench for these last couple of points as well. The sophomore down low, your rebounder, he's picked up 2 fouls already. We'll see if he comes in at all later in this second quarter.
I think the speed of Fort Zumwalt South, Cameron Miller and Judah Nunn is what's hurting the Mustangs right now. You see Miller right there driving all the way coast to coast and getting that bucket, getting the confidence levels up of the Bulldogs.
Yeah, they're either going coast to coast or they're getting a screen up top and getting right easily down the lane. Inbound goes to Marquette, and it's Devon Barshow. He gets it inside to Montgomery, gets up and off the glass as he fights through the double team. Inbound goes to Cameron Miller, the speedy 5'6" senior guard for the Bulldogs. His pass goes to Schwebker, but a foul first. Foul goes on Ben Katumbwa. And both teams now sitting at 5 fouls.
One thing I noticed, Joey, now is that Montgomery has moved down low on the court when they're on offense. He's not carrying the ball up anymore. I don't think Fort Zumwalt South has an answer for him down low, so I think the key is to get him the ball down low.
Inside to Montgomery. A foul comes, and then a little flop there comes from Montgomery. So Marquette will keep it on offense. Right into Montgomery, kind of catches the defense of Fort Zumwalt South off guard. Up and in off the glass, good for 2. Cameron Miller now, he crosses the timeline right in front of the scorer's table. Just under 3 to go in the half. Mustangs lead at 29-25. Great jump of the pass by Jalen White. The other way comes Barshow. And great defense on the other end by Miller. He was able to deny Barshow. Now the other way, Schwebker was out ahead of the defense. And the outlet pass from Jake Patton. A little bit too far for J.J. Schwebker.
I think Fort Zumwalt South has to slow the game down now when they get those turnovers and not be so heavy to just run it down the court right away.
Elias Harris, he gets the screen from Montgomery. He pulls from deep 3. Misses. Rebound goes to Schwebker. Off of the back iron. It's Miller. He crosses right over the Warriors logo, gets the screen from Grant Stevens. Stevens gets the ball, now hands it over to Nowak. Nowak to Schwebker up top. And he gives to Patton. He pulls for 3, and he hits it. Jake Patton, that's the second 3 from that area of the court. It's 29-28 now. Mustangs lead down to 1. 2 minutes to go in the half. Elias Harris tries to drive baseline. He gets stopped, and he has to kick it back out to Jalen White. Now to Montgomery. And a foul will go on Cameron Miller.
Marquette has to shut Patton down right now from beyond the arc. He's doing a great job hitting those threes, and they're pretty wide open right now. They got to get a hand in the face and get something happening, because if Fort Zumwalt South continues to hit that open 3, that's going to hurt Marquette a lot.
And we mentioned in the open, J.J. Schwebker was the 3-point shooter to watch out for, but we've seen Jake Patton pull from 3 a couple times on that near wing and hit.
Marquette might be doing too much to focus on Schwebker than they are on another shooter in Patton.
The 1-and-1 situation. Jason Montgomery misses his free throw, and then it goes off the hands of Jalen White and out of bounds. It will go to the Bulldogs. With the 7th foul committed by Fort Zumwalt South, that foul on Cameron Miller, the Mustangs will be shooting 1-and-1 for the rest of the half. Inbound goes to Judah Nunn, who crosses the timeline. He gets a screen from Schwebker. Nunn, tightly guarded by Harris. He gets to Schwebker, inside to Katumbwa. Misses. Rebound by Montgomery the other way. Montgomery tries to go for the outlet pass up top, and foul called.
Montgomery wanted that alley-oop on that play.
It looked like the pass was a little bit late, so Montgomery was trying to look to tip that off the window. But he was starting to fall back down to the court while the ball was still reaching the peak of its travel, and he gets fouled on the way up. He'll go to the line for 2. And the distraction, the Fort Zumwalt South student section works there as Montgomery misses his first off the front of the rim.
Marquette leads 29-28 with just above a minute and a half remaining in the half. They got to knock down these free throws they're given for free.
Montgomery hits the second, a 2-point lead for Marquette, 30-28, minute and a half to go in the half. It's Judah Nunn across the timeline. He gets it to Jake Patton. He gets in behind his defender, and he is fouled in the act of shooting. Pushed, and he's held, and he will go to the line for two.
You can see they're putting a lot more pressure on Patton now that they've noticed he's gotten all their points, basically. I mean, he's doing a great job everywhere. He's driving, he's pulling up for three, doing a great job, and he hits his free throws.
Up and good goes the first one for the 6'1 senior guard, Jake Patton.
Coach Friedel cannot ask for anything more than what Jake Patton's putting on right now here tonight.
Ethan Jenkins comes in for Jeremiah Jennings. And Jake Patton's second free throw up and good. Jason Montgomery, the three-point shooter for the Marquette Mustangs, gets the inbound pass. He gets it over to Barshow. Over to White. White met with tough defense. He kicks it back to Barshow. Barshow out. Now to Harris. Harris drives, guarded by Nunn. Kicks it back out to Barshow. And he walked.
3 seconds in the paint called on Montgomery right there. 30-30 as we close in on the first half. What a great game we have here tonight for the championship of the 28th Annual Warrior Classic.
30-30 between the Bulldogs and the Mustangs. As it's Katumbwa. He's got it at the top. He'll hand it over to Patton. Patton guarded tightly by Jenkins. Patton, little dribble move, gets into the paint, up and off the window, and he'll go for the old-fashioned three-point play. It's up and good. The foul going on Devon Barshow.
Beautiful play right there. Little crossover move. That was sweet. Up and off the glass gives Fort Zumwalt South one of their biggest leads of the game by 2 points.
And Patton looking to convert the three-point play, give him a three-point lead. Barshow checks out after picking up that foul in favor of Jake Hansen. Up and good. It rattles around there, but Jake Patton gets the free throw to go. A three-point lead for the Bulldogs, 33-30, 40 seconds to go in the half. Montgomery brings it up and hands it over to Elias Harris. He's guarded by Nunn. Gets the screen from Montgomery. Harris hands it off for Jenkins, who hands it to Hansen. At the top, guarded by Schwepker. He hands it to Elias Harris. Met by Nunn. Back to Ethan Jenkins at the W of the Warriors. Hansen. Going to slow it down. It looks like the Mustangs will hold for the final shot. Schwepker tries to get in there with a hand, but instead it gets to Elias Harris up top. A screen from Montgomery. Harris makes Nunn go to the floor to create some space, and he gets the roll to go.
A long two to give the
Nunn
Mustangs.
From the half-court line, off the backboard, and just misses, hitting a buzzer beater, but the Bulldogs do carry a 1-point lead into the half, 33-32. Neil, your thoughts on the first half?
Marquette has to get what they had going in the first couple minutes of the first half. They had Montgomery driving the lane. They had the offensive rebounds working for them. And towards the end, you didn't see it as much. They kind of fell away from getting the rebounds. They kind of fell back on defense, realized Fort Zumwalt South was scoring more. And then on defense for Marquette, they have to do a better job containing Jake Patton. He's doing too good of a job right now, driving the lane, kicking it out, getting the three from beyond the arc. He's doing a great job right now, both offensively and defensively for the Bulldogs.
Both teams will have a lot to work on at the break in the locker room. We will go to break as well. At the half, the Fort Zumwalt South Bulldogs lead the Marquette Mustangs 33-32 in the championship game of the 28th Annual St. Charles West Warrior Basketball Classic. We'll go to halftime. We'll be back for the start of the third quarter in just a bit. You're listening to high school basketball on 89.1 The Wood. 89-1 The Wood, welcome into the championship game of the 28th Annual St. Charles West Warrior Basketball Classic between the Marquette Mustangs and the Fort Zumwalt South Bulldogs. And Neil, you got some first half stats for us.
Yeah, well, for Fort Zumwalt South, we'll start with them. Jake Patton is their leading scorer. He has 18 points tonight. He has 3 threes and 1 3-point play when he drove the lane, got the bucket to go, and won. And then for Marquette, their leading scorer is Harris right now with 8. Montgomery's got 7, so he's going to need to do a little bit better job if Marquette wants to win this game tonight.
Marquette, Jason Montgomery was playing catch with Harris. Harris has the ball back at the top of the key. Gets a screen from Josh Murs. Montgomery now. And the pass telegraphed and tipped and intercepted by Patton. He goes coast to coast off the glass, and you were talking about his stats. There's 2 more points for him.
Make it 20 for Patton. That's one thing that Marquette defense has to focus on right now in the second half is containing Jake Patton because he's been their scorer all game long.
In the corner is Jeremiah Jennings. He gets it back on the wing and gets around the defense, but fouled by Grant Stevens. It is a push on Stevens. His first foul and the first team foul of the half for Fort Zumwalt South. Inbounding from the baseline will be Jeremiah Jennings. He'll inbound it to Montgomery, met by Patton in the post. Patton falls down looking for the foul. The miss by Montgomery, and it will stay with the Mustangs.
Coach Friedel a little upset with the play right there. The referee did not see it at the top of the key. The referee down low said it hit off of the Bulldogs, but from up here it looked like it hit off of Montgomery.
Inbound goes to Elias Harris. He backs it up to the Warrior head at the center of the court. He hands over to Montgomery. Montgomery back to Harris. To Murs. He pulls from the elbow. Miss. Rebounded goes to Jennings. He still can't get it to go. Finally, Montgomery gets fouled as he tries to put it back in. It will be a slap to the head. The foul going charged to J.J. Schwepker, and that sends Montgomery to the line.
Montgomery's going to need to do a better job from the line in this second half. He was 3 for 10 in the first half. 7 points that can't go. Make it 8. 3 for 11 from the free throw line.
And the Fort Zumwalt South student section also giving Montgomery a little bit of grief there on that free throw as he gets it as it rims out a little bit. Montgomery concentrates. This time he swishes it right through. 35-33 is the Bulldogs' lead with just under 6:45 to go in quarter number 3. Cameron Miller. He hands over to Stevens, who hands it back to Miller right in front of the Bulldog bench. Looks for the screen from Becca Brady, gets it from him. Becca Brady drives in, gets some contact, and he cannot get it to go, but will go to the foul line off of the foul by Josh Murs.
Marquette defense has been doing a great job of containing Becca Brady tonight. We talked about before the game that in the middle of the paint, they were going to have to contain Becca Brady, and they've done a great job of that thus far.
In the first half, we saw him get a lot of rebounds. We haven't called his name a whole lot on the point sheet. He gets one up and good.
That is his first point of the night.
You mentioned a good job containing Becca Brady throughout the game. All he's been able to do is rebound for the Bulldogs. Picks up his first points from the line. Looks to get the second one with this free throw, and he does. The distractions do nothing to him. He swishes both of them through, and the lead is back up to 4 for Zumwalt South. It's Harris. Just on the other side of the timeline on the Warrior head. He's met by Miller. Hands it over to Jennings. Jennings guarded by Miller. Back to Harris. Gets to the free throw line with a floater. And I don't know if that was a design play, but right there was Jalen White to catch it and put it back in.
Jalen White doing a great job tonight. He's got 9 points for the Mustangs.
Miller pulls from 3. He misses. Jason Montgomery pulls the rebound off the backboard. Thinking about a 3 was White. And then called for the blocking foul is Cameron Miller. That's 3 fouls for the Bulldogs already with 5:45 to go in quarter number 3. As Bill Friedel didn't like something, he came out to about the timeline, but retreats back to the front of his bench. Inbound goes to Murs. He gets it over to White. And great defense by the Bulldogs as Harris unable to get open. It goes out of bounds into the corner.
Miscommunication right there for Marquette's offense. They can't be doing that, throwing the ball out of bounds this late in the game with such a close game, 35-37 for Zumwalt South leads. You can't just give the ball back to them like that. That's going to be tough to come back.
And turnovers, talking about turnovers, in the first 3 games, Marquette averaging about 10 turnovers a game. It is Judah Nunn. He's crossed the timeline, met now by Harris. He hands it over to Becca Brady. He's at the top, hands it to Schwepker for 3. Misses, rebound pulled down by Elias Harris. He feeds Montgomery, cutting on the far wing, and then left all alone, cutting through was White. He couldn't get it to go. Finally, the rebound pulled down by the Bulldogs, but they step on the baseline. It will stay with the Mustangs.
Marquette reminiscing on their first half, the first quarter of the first half. They were doing a great job down low in the paint. Now they're doing the same thing. They're getting down low. Right there, Montgomery gets the 2 to go. That's going to help them out to get back in this game.
37-37, 5 minutes to go in quarter number 3. A great championship game for this Warrior Classic. It's Jake Patton. He gets to the free throw line, and his shoes failed him a little bit there, a little too slick, and he slides, and that'll be a travel.
And the Marquette student section gets going. It's about time. We haven't heard much from them tonight. Fort Zumwalt South goes right back to him. Gotta love high school basketball. There's no other thing in the country in sports with 2 student sections going after it. It's only high school basketball.
That's it. There's nothing like it. I mean, there's football, but they're like on the other side of the field, where in a gymnasium you can hear them easily from either side. And it's fun as we're listening to the Fort Zumwalt South student section reply to the Marquette Mustang student section.
The Marquette student section chanting, "Where is Waldo?" Because of Fort Zumwalt South. Joe, you were loving it earlier before the game when you saw him pull the pants out.
Yeah, the "Where's Waldo" type pants.
Wisconsin style.
Yeah, Wisconsin-esque is what it reminds you of. Coming out of the timeout, it will be the Mustangs with the ball. Inbound goes to Elias Harris. The quick 5'9" sophomore guard. Harris gets it back from Montgomery. He gets it over to Jennings. Jennings guarded tightly, gets it back to Harris. Jennings to Montgomery in the corner for 3, and he hits it. Coming in late on the play, closing in was Grant Stevens, and Montgomery made him pay for getting out there a little late.
Montgomery's got 13 now in this game, giving Marquette a 40-37 lead. They're doing a way better job this half than they did in the second quarter.
Schwebker from the elbow, and 39-40. The Mustangs' lead is now 1. It's Harris. He puts up the floater. Schwebker with the rebound. He sent an outlet pass, and that was way wide of where Jake Patton was. And the turnover, Marquette will get the ball back. Harris drives the near wing, kicks it back out to Montgomery. He's guarded by Patton. Over to White. White. He hands it off to Jennings. Jennings to Montgomery. Back to White for 3 from the corner. Leaves it short off the front of the rim. Rebound comes to Jennings. And a blocking foul is called on Judah Nunn.
You can see Marquette has a lot more confidence early in this second half than they did at the end of the first half. Driving to the lane when they want to and pulling beyond the arc to get those three-point opportunities.
And another foul. This one's going to go on the 6'5" junior forward, J.J. Schwebker. The other three-point shooter, we saw Judah Nunn close in on Jason Montgomery. He hit the 3 from the corner a little bit earlier. And we mentioned in the open, he can catch and shoot, and he's not a catch and shoot. He will drain it if you leave him alone. We saw that earlier. The 2-pointer goes in for the Mustangs. They lead by 3, 42-39. It's Patton. He hands to Becca Brady just inside the arc. To Nunn. Nunn with a double. Now to Becca Brady inside. He has to back it back out and hands it back to Judah Nunn up top. Gets the screen from Becca Brady. Back to Becca Brady for 2. And off the front of the rim and bounces away. Rebound goes toward the Mustangs. And it's Jalen White. Now Jason Montgomery back to White. All the way across to Jennings, who hands it back to Hansen. He's going to slow it down and bring it up to the Warrior head at center court. 2:45 to go in quarter number 3. The Mustangs lead by 3, and Hansen commits a travel.
Not a heads-up play right there from Hansen. Slows it down and then tries to speed it up in the instant. Doesn't work out. Gives the ball back to Fort Zumwalt South. Down by 3 points with 2:43 left to go in the third.
The inbound will come right in front of the Marquette bench. It goes right to Cameron Miller. He crosses the timeline on the far side. He gets the screen from Becca Brady and uses it. He gets another one. Hands over to Schwepker. Whistle and a foul. And it looks like it's going to go on Connor Becca Brady. That is foul number 3 for him, and Neil, they do not want to lose Becca Brady. They're a man down low in the middle.
Yeah, they don't want to lose him because of he's doing a lot for defensive purposes right now for Fort Zumwalt South. He hasn't been producing that much offensively, but with Patton stepping up, they're doing okay.
Barshow to White, now to Hansen. Gets the screen from Montgomery and uses it. Another one. Hansen out to White for 3, and he hits it. Jalen White for 3. 2 minutes to go in the game, and head coach Bill Friedel wants to talk it over with his team, trailing by 6.
White's got a team leading 14 points right now, followed by Montgomery with 13 for the Mustangs. They're doing a lot better job shooting from the perimeter in this second half.
And coming into the game, the Mustangs, they were shooting the first 3 games, they were shooting only 30% from deep. So that is something that Eric Schwain is probably happy to see, the way his team has been shooting from the perimeter.
Both games for Marquette have been high scoring, and this one is going to end up the same. They're already at 45 points with still another period left to play, with just under 2 minutes remaining in the third.
I was talking a little bit earlier. Bill Friedel, the head coach of the Bulldogs, you kind of see the Bulldogs. They'll make a couple of. I was talking earlier. They kind of make a couple of. You'll see them make a couple high school mistakes, but Bill Friedel coaches them very well, and it's surprising to see the number of fouls that they lead. They have plus 5 more fouls than the Mustangs do in this third quarter.
I think that's because of the Mustangs driving to the basket and getting those offensive rebounds, producing down low and making something happen, and making making Fort Zumwalt South make the mistakes.
Out of the timeout, it's Grant Stevens to inbound it to Cameron Miller. He's met in the backcourt by Jake Hansen. Miller crosses the timeline and hands it to Becca Brady. Becca Brady hands to Schwepker for 3 in front of the bench, leaves it short off the front of the rim. Rebound goes to the Mustangs. It's Devon Barshow, hands it to Montgomery, now Hansen at the base of the Warrior logo at center court. Guarded tightly by Cameron Miller. Now to Josh Mers and to Devon Barshow. At the R and the Warriors on the far side. He drives into the paint, spins, puts up the floater, and gets it to go. 47-39 is the Mustangs' lead with just over a minute to go in quarter number 3. Miller gets the screen from Becca Brady. He goes all the way to the rim. Off the backboard, no good. Rebound goes again to Devon Barshow. Barshow thought about a 3. This time kicks it inside to Montgomery, who drives baseline, up and in off the glass.
Marquette offense is taking over this game right now. 10-point lead, their biggest of the game thus far, with just under a minute remaining in the third.
Screen by Becca Brady. He gets another one to free up Schwepker. Schwepker asking for the ball instead. Uses a screen for Patton. Becca Brady at the top of the key. Becca Brady hands to Cameron Miller. Miller to Schwepker. Schwepker guarded tightly. He hands it to Patton. Patton from deep three-point range. And he misses off the rim. Rebound to Jason Montgomery.
Patton has to go with those deep threes now because of the length Barshaw has on him. You haven't seen Barshaw on him all night, and head coach Swain of Marquette put him on there in the second half, and Patton hasn't done much thus far to contribute to the offensive category for the Bulldogs.
And a big substitution, 3 players in now for the Bulldogs. It's been Katumbwa, Carter Nowak, and Judah Nunn. As Montgomery goes to the line to shoot 2 with the Bulldogs in the penalty. Missing is Montgomery, so it stays a 10-point lead. And it's Nunn. He hands it to Patton. Now to Stevens, back to Nunn. Now it's Nowak. Nowak looks for Patton, decides to keep it himself. Double team, but gets it off to Nunn, and a foul. It's going to get charged to Jake Hansen as he pushes off on Judah Nunn.
(49-39) with 10.6 seconds remaining in the third. Marquette's pretty much taking this game under control.
We've seen that as of late. They've gone on a nice little scoring run. See if the Bulldogs can get something going. 10 seconds to go in quarter number 3. Inbound to Nunn. He gets a screen and uses it. Nunn inside the arc, tries to drive, contorts off the backboard. Ball is up in the air. Now the heave, nowhere close. And at the end of 3 quarters, the Mustangs are out to their biggest lead of this one, 49-39, a 10-point lead. We're going to take a short break and be back with the final quarter of the championship game of the 28th annual St. Charles West Warrior Basketball Classic. You're listening to high school basketball on 89.1 The Wood. 89.1 The Wood, welcome back to Terry Hollander Court on the campus of St. Charles West High School. And Neil, before we start quarter number 4, you got some third quarter stats for us.
Yeah, after the first half, Jake Patton had 18 points. Marquette defense contained him to only 2 points in the third quarter, which helped them tremendously and got the ball rolling for guys like Montgomery, who ended the third quarter with 15, and White, who has 14 thus far in the game.
Judah Nunn guarded tightly by Elias Harris. He gets it over to Schwepker in the corner. Inside now to Nowak. He's double teamed. Nunn, great vision by Nowak, and Nunn lays it in. Gets a kind roll off the rim in the window. 49-41, 7.5 to go in the game.
Nowak realizing that Nunn cut to the basket. His speed got there just in time before the defenders realized that they were going right to the middle.
Jennings drives too high off the glass. Rebound goes to Schwepker. Schwepker hands it to Nowak. He brings it up and now hands it off to Judah Nunn. Nunn guarded by Harris. He gets a screen from Becca Brady. Becca Brady up top. Thought about pulling from 3. Looks for someone to hand it off to, and he hands it off to Jake Patton. Patton gets to the free throw line, then kicks it back outside to Nowak. Nowak moves his feet, jab steps. Instead hands it back to Becca Brady, who hands to Patton. Patton for 3. Off the front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by the Mustangs. The other way comes Jason Montgomery. Little spin move into the lane. Double team. Gets his own rebound. And a foul. Let's see what they call it on. There was a mass of Bulldogs down in the paint. And it looks like they are going to call it on Carter Nowak.
Joey, do you remember Hack-a-Shack? The term Hack-a-Shack? Hack-Shack O'Neal.
Yeah.
Because he can't shoot free throws. Montgomery's 4 for 13 tonight from the free throw line.
He does convert that time.
5 for 13. So your best bet when he's down low, because he has the size advantage over everyone on the court tonight, your best bet is to hack a shack.
As you mentioned that, he goes 1, makes 1, misses 1, so the lead is up to 9 for the Mustangs. It's Judah Nunn to bring it up, and he hands it off to Schwepker. And the foul, it's going to go on Jason Montgomery, the 6'4" senior forward for the Mustangs. And the inbound will come right in front of the Bulldogs bench.
His second foul tonight. He's okay in foul range. Not many of the Marquette players have had trouble tonight.
Schwepker inbounds it to Nunn in the backcourt. And now Becca Brady comes out to give Nunn a screen, and he uses it. Schwepker. Beyond the arc, hands it off to Patton. Patton double teamed to Schwepker. Schwepker gets around, floats it, and he gets the kind roll and off the window. 7-point lead now for the Mustangs, 50-43 after that bucket by Schwepker.
Schwepker with 13 points tonight has been grinding through those points. He's only made 1 3-pointer, and before the game we talked about it, he's going to be their 3-point asset, and he's only made 1 of them tonight.
Harris tries to shake free of Nunn. Instead, hands it off to Jennings. Jennings. Pass intended to Harris. It gets tipped away off a couple bodies and out of bounds. Last touch by Marquette. And it'll go to the Bulldogs, a chance to cut into this lead a little bit more.
I like the idea of the Bulldogs' defense right now. They're doing a great job containing Marquette to bring the ball down low. They've stopped their three-point presence, and I think that Schwepker or Patton's going to need to hit a three right here for the Bulldogs.
Becca Brady's up top. Gets it into Nunn. Patton finds himself free as getting in there late on the play was Jalen White. He came in late. Patton made him pay, lays it in off the glass. It's a 5-point lead now for the Mustangs.
The Bulldogs are doing a great job of cutting to the basket from the perimeter right now, and the guards with the ball are realizing it, and they're cutting into this lead that Marquette has.
Barshow from the free throw line. It's a little too strong. Rebound goes to J.J. Schwepker. 5 minutes to go in the championship game. The Mustangs lead it by 5, 50-45.
Marquette has been taking some non-high percentage shots.
Schwepker has it back to Becca Brady. Thought about a three. Now gets it to Nunn. Nunn outside guarded by Harris. Nunn inside to Schwepker. Schwepker from the free throw line and fouled on the play. It's going to be a foul on Montgomery, and that's his third foul.
Montgomery saying he didn't do it. But isn't that what they all say when you're playing? You're like, oh, I didn't foul anybody.
Inbound goes to Schwepker. He's battling with Montgomery off his back foot. Gets the miss, and ball's on the floor, out of bounds. Referees looking at each other, and they say last touch by a Marquette Mustang. It will stay at the Bulldogs' end of the floor.
A great game, getting way more intense with under 5 minutes remaining in the game. Fort Zumwalt South only down by 5.
Inbound goes to Becca Brady. From the free throw line, fading back. Left it a little short. Rebound goes to Elias Harris. He'll bring it up the court into the front court. Harris met right away by Nunn. He hands over to Jalen White. Back to Harris at the face of the Warrior. Across now to Barshow. Back now to Montgomery. Tries to shake free of his man and gets fouled. Foul called on Carter Nowak, this 5'11 senior guard for the Bulldogs. And that's foul number 5 on Nowak.
Nowak's going to be out of the game for Fort Zumwalt South, and Montgomery will go to the line. He's 5 for 14 from the free throw line tonight.
And Nowak's night is done. And that will bring the 6'3 forward, Grant Stevens. He started the game. The starter cannot get any more rest as Nowak fouls out. It sends Montgomery to the line to try to extend the lead after the Bulldogs battle back.
1-1 for Montgomery here. 50-45 with 4:17 remaining.
Montgomery makes the first one, so he will get the second one. Last time Montgomery got 2 free throws, he made the first one, missed the second one. Neil mentioned it, not very consistent at the line tonight. But he makes both, and that's to the delight of the Marquette student section. 52-45 is the lead for the Mustangs. 4 minutes to go in the championship game. Judah Nunn brings it across. And met by Harris. He hands it off to Jake Patton. He's been leading the three-point scoring for the Bulldogs. Inside to Becca Brady. Battling down low with Murs. He gets the roll off the backboard and the back iron. Layup is good. 52-47, just under 4 minutes to go. It's Harris. He's met by Nunn. Harris looking for an option. He passes off to Jalen White. Met by Schwepker. And an offensive foul. Jake Patton. He's scoring on offense, and he's getting the ball back for his team, drawing offensive fouls.
Patton's been all over the place tonight for Fort Zumwalt South, doing a phenomenal job offensively and defensively. He had the giant block on Barshaw earlier in the game, and to get that charge right there as White's driving in, you're down 5 points. Key play in this game.
Schwepker uses the screen from Becca Brady, then Becca Brady gets it. Thought about a three, but hands it to Nunn for three, and he hits it! And that gets the bench of the Bulldogs up and on their feet. It is a 2-point lead for the Mustangs. 3.5 to go in the championship game.
The Fort Zumwalt South crowd hasn't gotten into it very much tonight, but right there as Nunn hit the three, they went wild.
Inside the bar show, the fans wanted to travel, but no call by the referees. It's Harris. He's guarded by Becca Brady. Harris backs it out to the corner, now tries to drive the lane. Becca Brady's right there. Misses, but the rebound knocked in by Jason Montgomery. 54-50, under 3 minutes to play. It's Judah Nunn. He hands it off to J.J. Schwebker. Uses the screen from Becca Brady. Schwebker thought about a three. Gets his man airborne and hands it to Becca Brady, who hands it to Nunn. Nunn bumped by Harris, now to Schwebker. Catch and shoot, and he hits it! Neil, that is something we mentioned in the open. Schwebker is a catch and shoot for three, and he hits that one right there.
He's got 16 points now. That's his second three of the night, and it couldn't have come at a more convenient time for this Fort Zumwalt South Bulldog team.
54-53, 2.5 to go in the game. It's Harris, he's guarded by Nunn. He hands over to Jalen White, guarded by Schwebker. Trying to jump the pass was Patton. Shot misses. Rebound by Becca Brady. A foul. Who are they going to call it on? Becca Brady was the one who secured the rebound. He's been doing that a lot for the Bulldogs, and the foul is going to go on the...
That'll be on Barshaw of Marquette. So Fort Zumwalt South will get the ball back. Down 1 point. 2:09 remaining in the game.
54-53. 2 timeouts for the Bulldogs, 4 for the Mustangs. We're under 2 to play in the game. Hands it off to Becca Brady. He's at the top of the key. Looks to give it to somebody. Hands it to Nunn. Now to Schwebker, right at the W of the Warriors. 1:50 to go in the game. Doesn't use the screen from Becca Brady. Goes in, drives the lane, misses off the glass. Rebound goes to the Mustangs. The other way, here they come. It's Jalen White. He gets it back to Elias Harris, who slows it down a bit. He's guarded by Schwebker. Harris slows it down as he stands on the head of the Warrior at the center court. Jennings to Josh Mers. And he hands now to Montgomery. Elias Harris on the Warriors on the far side of the court. Guarded by Nunn. Over to Mers. He hands it back for Barshaw. Barshaw backs it up to the top. Now drives the lane. And he cannot get it to go. The rebound is gathered by Montgomery, and he lays it up and in. A big shot by Jason Montgomery with a minute to go. The lead is now 3 for the Mustangs.
Montgomery has really turned it on in this fourth quarter. He's got 21 total points now, leading his team.
Judah Nunn brings it up, and head coach Bill Friedel wants to talk it over, try to draw up a play, Neil.
56-53 with 55 seconds remaining in the ballgame. A great game we've witnessed here tonight for the 28th annual St. Charles West Warrior Basketball Classic. These two teams we mentioned earlier played in last year's game. And Joey, who came out on top of that one?
The Bulldogs did come out on top of that one by 10. So let's take a look at our matchups that we mentioned in the beginning of the game. So Schwebker, he's a three-point shooter. We just witnessed it earlier. He caught it, catch and shoot, and he knocked it down from the far wing. We've seen Montgomery alone in the corner, and he made the Bulldogs pay by knocking down a three. Becca Brady, he hasn't scored a whole lot, but he's been there to rebound the ball, secure it, and get possessions for the Bulldogs. And then the defense by both Miller and Harris out at the top has been great for both teams.
I think one of the most exciting things of the game is watching Miller and Nunn bring the ball up for Fort Zumwalt South. The speed and agility they have on the court is one of the most impressive things I've seen here tonight.
Bill Friedel and his team breaks the huddle. They find themselves down by 3, 55 seconds to go in quarter number 4. Possession arrow favors the Mustangs. 6 fouls have been committed by Marquette, 9 fouls committed by the Bulldogs. 1 timeout for the Bulldogs, 4 timeouts for Marquette. Inbound goes to Nunn. Nunn, he hands it to Stevens. Now Becca Brady back to Nunn. Schwebker, catch, shoot for 3, he hits it! That's another catch and shoot 3 for J.J. Schwebker, and we're tied at 56 with 30 seconds to go in the game. And now Eric Schwain wants to talk it over, Neil.
We haven't seen Schwebker catch and shoot much this game. but when he has, he's knocked them both down. Schwepker has 19 now to go along with Patton's 22 that have been carrying this Fort Zumwalt South team. And Breckabetti on the backcourt. He's playing great defense right now for Fort Zumwalt South. What a game we're witnessing here for the championship. You couldn't have written it any better.
I think you said it perfectly there, Neil. And then Becca Brady, other than being a great rebounder, we've seen him up at the top of the circle, setting screens for his teammates, creating open looks. That's how J.J. Schwepker was able to get open and make that catch-and-shoot three.
You know, in team events like this, team games like this, if you're not on, you got to find something else to do that you can help the team. Just in like baseball, if you're not hitting well, you got to make a play on defense, or in football. I mean, if you're not throwing the ball or catching the ball really well, you got to do something else. You got to make a block or something that's going to help the team in some way, and Breckerbetti's doing a great job of that right now here tonight.
So let's reset the game. 33.8 seconds to go in quarter number 4. We are tied at 56. The possession arrow, in the case of a tie ball, points in favor of the Marquette Mustangs. 9 fouls committed by the Bulldogs. That puts the Mustangs in the bonus. They'll be shooting 1-1. 6 fouls by the Mustangs. The Bulldogs will not be shooting free throws if Marquette commits a foul. 1 timeout left for the Zumwalt South Bulldogs. 3 timeouts left for the Marquette Mustangs. Mustangs will inbound the ball. It goes to Elias Harris. 30 seconds to go in the championship game of the 28th annual St. Charles West Warrior Basketball Classic. And it looks like Marquette is going to hold for the final shot.
I feel like the Energizer Bunny is running around this Terry Hollins court right now because this place is electric.
Back up top to Harris. He gets it now to Jennings. Drives in. Montgomery contorts his body. Doesn't get the roll. Rebound pulled down by the Bulldogs. Looking for a tie ball. Becca Brady secures it, but it's tied up. And we mentioned the possession arrow. Points in favor of Marquette. They will get the ball with 1.9 seconds to go.
I like the call right there. I do. I really like the call because
Patton does not agree, though.
56-56. 1.9 seconds remaining. We mentioned in the first game that how long does it take to get a shot off? 0.3 seconds?
Anything more than 0.3 seconds, you can legally catch it and shoot it in basketball. Anything less than that, you have to try to throw it to the backboard and hope for a tip-in. So
I think the play that head coach Schwain is going to draw up is something to Montgomery. It has to be something to Montgomery down low. Get him the ball. Maybe try and get fouled on your way up because
send him to the line. He's
all you need is one.
He's been able to make one.
All you need is one.
Yeah, all you need. We're tied. One's all you need. He's been able to make one. 2, not so much. You mentioned, what's his free throw percentage on the game?
He's 5 for 14 right now.
5 for 14. Not a good percentage, but he's been able to make one at just about every trip he's had, which is all you need. Teams will break the huddle. So let's reset the game. 1.9 seconds to go in quarter number 4. 1 timeout for the Bulldogs, 2 for the Mustangs. The Bulldogs have committed 9 fouls. That will give the Mustangs, put them in the bonus. If the Bulldogs foul again, they'll be shooting 1-1. 6 fouls committed by Marquette, so Zumwalt South will not be shooting free throws if they foul. The possession arrow will switch to Zumwalt South on this inbound. Inbound. Up top to Jalen White for 3. He tries to bank it in, and it is no good. We are going to overtime, Neil.
Phenomenal 4 quarters of basketball. You wouldn't want anything less in this great game. We've seen a 10-point lead for Marquette where Fort Zumwalt South came back and tied it up and eventually took the lead. They had the lead for a little bit. They were up 2 points at one point, and Marquette really came back and showed who these teams are, each of them being very, very strong teams.
Eric Schwain for Marquette, Bill Friedel for Fort Zumwalt South. They're talking with their teams. We're going to take a 30-second timeout and be back for the overtime period. You are listening to the championship game of the 28th annual St. Charles West Warrior Basketball Classic on 89-1 The Wood. 89-1 The Wood back at Terry Hollander Court on the campus of St. Charles West. There, it comes down to 2 teams, and no better way for the championship game of the 28th annual St. Charles West Warrior Basketball Classic to end than having it go to a 4-minute overtime period, Neil.
What a game this has been. Both teams coming back from adversity, showing how strong these two teams are.
Tip is won by Marquette, and they will get the first possession of overtime.
In overtime, you're going to look for Montgomery and White to get the ball for Marquette. Montgomery has 21 points. White has 14. And for Fort Zumwalt South, Patton has been there all game for them. He had 18 points in the first half. He only has 22 so far in the game. And Schwepker, we saw him catch and shoot late in this game. Phenomenal. He's got 19 tonight.
He has 19. We didn't see the catch and shoot early, but he did it when it counts. Clutch players do it when it counts. After the clock issue, we will restart play with the Mustangs. Up top, it's Barshow. He hands it across to Jennings. Jennings to Elias Harris. Now White. White guarded by Patton. White kicks it out to Barshow. Barshow for three. Off of the rim, no good. Rebound pulled down by Schwepker. Patton, his pass a little bit too hard. Looking for Grant Stevens. And Patton's going to be shaking his head after that one. That is something you cannot be doing.
Adrenaline is going in these moments, and this is the time where you have to slow the game down. You have to take it one step at a time, one dribble at a time, and get those first few points. Once you get the first few points on the board, the adrenaline slows down, your body calms down, and you'll start to relax a little bit and play the game as you were at the end of the fourth quarter.
You mentioned relax, and no hurry is Elias Harris to bring the ball up the court. He gets the screen from Montgomery. From the elbow, he hits it. 58-56, the lead is 2 for Marquette.
Harris is in double digits now with 10. Three players for Marquette have double digits.
Schwepker. He gets the screen and uses it from Becca Brady. Now Becca Brady gets it from Schwepker. Spins. And the stolen away by Harris. Becca Brady the other way to try to block it, but no, in and off the glass. Great vision by Harris. And the lead is 4 for Marquette. 60-56, 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the overtime period. Using the screen from Becca Brady is Cameron Miller. Inside to Schwepker, he doesn't see it, but Becca Brady there. Patton for three, he hits it! From the corner, Jake Patton, he hits the three on the far side, and it's a 1-point game, 60-59 in favor of Marquette.
Patton with 25 points now in this game. He has been producing all night, offensively and defensively, having a great game.
In the corner was Jenkins. He kicks it back out, stolen away, but a careless pass. Careless pass by Stevens, and Marquette gets it back. Montgomery slows it down up top. He hands it back to Harris. Harris walks it back to the Warrior head at center court. We are just under 2 minutes to go in the overtime period. Barshow out to Jenkins, and a offensive foul. It looks like it's going to go on Barshow. He is going to pick up the charge as he was driving the lane before he kicked it out to Jenkins.
Jenkins was wide open for three, too, and he knocked it down. But it won't go. 1:49 remaining. Fort Zumwalt South is going to slow the ball down a little bit, take some time off the clock. They're up by 1.
60-59 is the score. It's Schwepker up top. Gets it into Becca Brady. Tries to save it, and he does. What a save by Becca Brady. Outside is Patton. From the free throw line, up. Leaves it a little bit short, and the rebound goes to Barshow. And now the Marquette Mustangs can slow it down a bit with 1:15 to go in the overtime period. It's Harris. He's guarded by none. Over to Jenkins. Back to Harris. Barshow. Guarded by Becca Brady. He gets Becca Brady to fall down. Nobody in the paint, but nobody drives in. Becca Brady gets back up and covers Barshow. He kicks it out to Jenkins in the far corner. He's guarded by Patton. Now kicks it back out to Harris. Guarded by none. We are under a minute in the overtime period. Goes to the rim, miss, rebound goes to Nunn, and a foul is called. Nunn secures the rebound. The foul is going to go on Devon Barshow. And Zumwalt South is in the bonus. They will be shooting free throws. They have a chance to tie it, take the lead. And it was the smallest guy on the court that grabbed the rebound, Neil.
He's doing a great job. I mentioned it earlier. The hustle and want to get the ball attitude he's had tonight. Doing a great job. He knocked down that giant three that got the adrenaline and confidence rolling for this Fort Zumwalt South team. He's been doing a great job setting the tone and the tempo tonight.
And before Judah Nunn can take his free throws, Eric Schwain maybe trying the ice the kicker would be what the football term is. I guess ice the shooter. Takes a timeout, wants to talk it over with his team and maybe make Nunn think about it a little bit.
I like it because I don't think Marquette offensively knows what to do right now because head coach Swain is wanting them to slow the ball down when they get across half court, and then they try to rush and try to speed the tempo up when they had it down. And that's when Fort Zumwalt South has been doing a great job defensively containing them and getting those defensive rebounds.
Let's reset the game for you. We are in the overtime period with 49.2 seconds to go. The Mustangs lead it by 1, 60-59. Mustangs have committed 8 fouls, which puts the Bulldogs in the bonus. The Bulldogs have committed 9 fouls, which puts the Mustangs in the bonus. Each team has 2 timeouts left in this overtime period. And going to the possession arrow does favor the Bulldogs in the case of a tie-up.
And we saw it at the end of the fourth quarter. It really came down to the wire. 1.9 seconds remaining. And guess what? Went to a jump ball. The Mustangs had it. They couldn't connect. Now we're in overtime.
Judah Nunn will head back to the line. Arguably nailed one of the biggest 2 free throws. Not guaranteed, though. It's a 1-and-1. But the biggest free throws of the 5'6" junior guards season right now.
The biggest free throws for the shortest guy on the court.
Nunn sets his feet, practices with his left hand, a couple dribbles off the floor, spins it in his hands, bending the knees up, and rattles out. Rebound goes to the Mustangs. A huge miss by Nunn as it leaves the Marquette Mustangs still in the lead. It's Harris. He brings it across the timeline, met by Nunn. Now the double team comes from Patton. Back to Jenkins. Harris, guarded by Nunn. 27 seconds now. Into Montgomery now to Jenkins, guarded by Patton. Trying to get it away. They'll need to foul. And Bill Friedel is pointing, finally throwing his hands up and down in a fit as finally Schwebker commits the foul, but a lot of time rolled off the clock, Neil.
Yeah, 15.8 seconds left. 1 point lead for Marquette is really going to test what Fort Zumwalt South can do offensively. I think you got to go back to Schwebker and go with the catch and shoot. Well, now you don't have to. You don't need the 3.
You could go 3 would get you the win, but Schwebker, he can catch and shoot. But also remember, he is also good putting it on the floor and creating his own space as well.
Do you want to set the tempo for the season right now for Coach Friedel? If he makes this, you go down the court and you give Schwebker the opportunity to catch and shoot for the win.
That would be something to end out this tournament.
Or we could just go to another overtime.
Just leave all these fans here, the student sections in suspense. Let's reset the game for you. 15.8 seconds to go in overtime period number 1. The lead is for Marquette by 1, 60-59. Zumwalt South has committed 10 fouls, so the Mustangs will be shooting 2 free throws with any Bulldogs foul from this point on. The Mustangs have committed 8, so with another foul, the Bulldogs will only be shooting a 1-and-1. 2 timeouts left for either team, and the possession arrow still points in favor of Zumwalt South in the event of a tie-up.
So 1 free throw remaining for Barshall. 60-59. Fort Zumwalt South.
If he misses
the ball back. Montgomery down low. You never know. Montgomery may get the rebound, put it back up.
If he misses the free throw and the Bulldogs get the rebound, expect them to bring it up the floor as fast as they can. So with that timeout, the ball stays in the front court. A big free throw for Devon Barshow. Zumwalt South tries to distract him with the student section. Does not work. Up and good is the free one. 61-59 is the lead. 13 seconds to go. Now it's Stevens. Out to Becca Brady. No timeout being called. Nunn was wide open for 3. He takes the three, and he hits it!
My
Hits
goodness!
the three, and the time
No
expires!
way!
No!
Oh my goodness!
He hits the three!
The fans storm the court!
storm-
Oh my goodness, did that just happen?
Judah Nunn hits the three. He shook his defender loose, steps forward, steps back, puts up the three, nothing but net. The team comes storming on the court to meet Judah Nunn, the hero in this one. The fans, the student section storms the court as well.
He had 8 points tonight. He had 2 threes, 2 of the most important threes of the game. Judah Nunn, I talked about him earlier, setting the tempo and getting this game going, getting the adrenaline going. Wow, I could not believe that just happened, Joey.
62-61 is the final, and Neil, your final thoughts in this one?
These two teams are great. I mean, they're both going to have a phenomenal season, but this game right here, this is what you want in basketball. You want these games. 62-61, the final score here at St. Charles West High School for the 28th annual St. Charles West Warriors Basketball Classic. You got to love it, and you got to look forward to these games this season for both of these teams.
Both of these teams showed up very well. The Zumwalt South Bulldogs beat at center court as they will be presented with some hardware. But first, though, it will be the plaque presented to the Marquette Mustangs, the runner-up. They're still kind of scratching their head. I saw as the team and the student section was storming the court, there were some Marquette Mustangs. They were just crouched down on a knee. What just happened?
He hit it before the buzzer beater.
What just happened?
And everyone just ran on the court. You didn't really know what to do.
They didn't know what to do, but the student section knows what to do. The team gets the plaque. They run to the student section. They are jumping up and down in celebration, holding that first place plaque up in the air. What a great game to close out the 28th annual St. Charles West Warrior Basketball Classic. The champion, Fort Zumwalt South Bulldogs, they beat the Marquette Mustangs by a score of 62-61. For my partner, Neil Fisher, my name's Joey Messenbrake. We thank you for listening to high school basketball on 89.1 The Wood.